Sisters, brothers, siblings in the Episcopal Church in northern Indiana, grace and peace be with you in Jesus, the risen Christ. Greetings, friends, from Lambeth again. Here we are on Saturday, concluding the last of our conversations around our Lambeth calls. And it's my privilege and pleasure to introduce one of my brother bishops here. He's going to tell us a bit about himself and his diocese, and then we'll engage in a conversation about the particular call.
Hello, my name is Michael Beasley. I've just very recently become Bishop of Bath and Wells in the Church of England. I've just moved down to the west of England from the Diocese of St Albans, which is just to the north of London. And I'm a member of the Anglican Communion Science Commission, which generated one of the calls that we were discussing this morning at the conference.
Could you tell us, from your particular perspective, what's so important about us as a communion of churches really adopting a call around science?
Science already has and is going to continue to have, and probably will increasingly have, the most enormous effect upon our lives, all of us, and especially as we look to the coming years, where the pace of scientific change is just going to accelerate. And so the call that we discussed this morning is really seeking to enable us as churches to be on the front foot as all this happens around us, to think about how we can work with science to promote human dignity and flourishing and well-being all around the world.
You know, Bishop Mike, I was at our table. We were surprised because we wouldn't be here at the Lambeth conference were it not for the international cooperation that made it possible for the COVID-19 vaccines to take place. I mean, we would not be here if it weren't for that kind of initiative, right? And that happened all over the world to make it possible for us to be here. That's an example of that kind of initiative, isn't it?
Absolutely. And my background is as a scientist, so I'm an epidemiologist by background. So was strongly involved here in England in terms of thinking through the Church's response to COVID, but also working with the Anglican Communion to seek to support the different countries where our churches are present, to think through how to receive all the advice that was happening, how to access vaccines, how to engage with questions of vaccine equity and justice that we've been faced with. And that's just one good example of what it means as church to engage with science, because it affects all of us.
Thank you so very much for taking the time as we move into a bit of a coffee break to engage with me in this conversation. I'm grateful.
Thank you.